get to hear such wonderful, brand new music.
Original,
David.
yeah.
Yes, it is. And it comes from the pen of a good friend of ours who's been here before. I've known a long time now, going back through an association with the Space Coast Pops over a number of years.
Right.
Michael Bloomer is with us.
Hey.
Mike, nice to see you again.
Thank you for having me. Great to be back here with you guys today.
Yeah.
And this is one of the tunes. It's a thing called Footprints from your brand new CD that is just become available here in Central Florida. Well, before we get into all of that, what have you been up to other than creating beautiful music?
Well, I've been teaching violin, viola, cello, bass, and guitar students at Music and Arts. I have almost 50 students now, which is tremendous.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That'll keep you busy.
it is, yeah. It's steady, which is nice. And then I've been gigging, which is the key word for working as a musician.
Yeah.
Playing weddings, private parties, special events, whether it's the bass guitar, the upright bass, the cello, whatever.
Living the dream.
That's it. Yep, that's it.
Get to make music, make people happy, and or teach them to help do the same.
Yes.
You know, once you teach, they can go off and do that themselves.
Yeah, it's very rewarding, yeah.
I had, and I got to share this, sometimes things happen, and I became aware of it several months ago. And Michael didn't know I was going to show up for this thing, but he played a Sunday afternoon concert at Casa Feliz in Winter Park.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just a gorgeous day, and if you haven't been down there and taken the tour and seen what they've done with this marvelous old mansion, it's worth a couple hours on a Sunday afternoon to go and take a look, and even more so because Michael was playing and he had a vocalist with him, and you find him at various places around town, and he does make marvelous, and it's not just cello. I mean, you're doing lots of things.
Yeah. I like to mix it up using the guitar, singing, actually doing that as well, playing the bass. To me, variety is the spice of life, and I do like it spicy, so it's all good.
Now, your bass is not electric.
Well, I have that 6-string electric bass.
Oh,
As a
you
matter
do?
of fact, on the CD of mine, Creative Vault, one of the tracks is almost 8 minutes long, and it's just bass guitar, drums, and percussion.
Oh, cool.
And it really will take you into the desert. I think you appreciate that. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about this Creative Vault. Now, this is not your first effort. I mean, you've got a number of CDs and material that's available out there.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the motivation and some of the thought process. What made you say, hey, you know what, it's time to do another one?
Well, that's a great question. I had performed one of the pieces I had written called Whale Song at my church, and they loved it so much they kept begging me, please give us a CD of that song. So for about a year I kept hearing this, and I finally said, okay. I found a studio that was reasonable, does great work. His name is Chris Bjarni and Richard Yates, and anyway, we just for about a year did some recordings. We started with that. And then there was other pieces of music I had on the back burner. I decided, hey, let's bring in some other musicians. Let's put this together. And each piece became its own, just exciting to watch it come to life.
It's from the vault, from your brain vault.
Yeah, that's it.
They finally come to light. Well, that's a great thing because, again, live, nothing quite like live.
Right.
But not everybody can always get to you live. And
Right.
you can't always get to them.
Yes.
Now you're reaching out, and you're available in the new social media era. You're out there on YouTube.
Yes. Yeah, there's a link, if you want to listen to it. It's under my name, Mike Bloomer. And it's called the Creative Vault Demo Movie. So you can hear samples of that. You can also download the entire album or sample or individual pieces through iTunes, Amazon, and CD Baby.
There you go. Very nice.
Yeah.
How long, from the time that you decided this was going to happen, how long did it take to put this together?
Well, it was just about under a year. I started recording in February of last year. And again, really it was just a process of putting something down and then do the editing in the studio and bringing in the people that really did a great job.
I did note that you have quite a few friends appearing on the album.
Yes, notably Bill Carmichael on trumpet. He has busy as you can imagine as a trumpet player can be, and he does a great job. And I had in my opinion, probably the best violist in Central Florida, Mauricio. He's a OPO principal violist, and classical guitarist by David Naidu. Had Stephanie Doucette, did a great job on the violin, and myself playing several instruments. I hope I didn't forget anybody.
Antone on the drums?
Oh, yes, Antone. Boy, he is...
keeping that backbeat.
Yeah, but he's so creative. He is just a joy to work with, yeah.
Is he percussion as well?
Yeah,
the whole bit.
Percussion, drums. He also has a studio for photography, and he does framing, so he's a very busy guy.
That's cool. Yeah, all creative stuff.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I want to hear about some of the tunes and how they came together. Now, we opened up with Footprints, and of course, you have a picture of you. Now, which beach is that you're on there?
Well, that is Daytona Beach. It was Antone's idea to go to the pier, and we had to get there by 8 o'clock because the sun had to be just right or it would be too bright.
That's right.
Yeah, so we did a whole photo shoot on that. And you can go to my Facebook page and see a whole bunch of those pictures, too.
Yeah.
They came out nice.
Yeah.
So actually, the first recording is Discovering My Garden. That turned out to be first a guitar only, and then I started hearing a melody. I played on the viola one afternoon, and then it said, "This is it. This is what I want to do." So that's how that song came to be.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you now, and I'm gonna kind of tickle David's memory here too, because this goes.
You
back,
leave my memory alone.
Well, this goes back a number of years,
right.
But I was always impressed, and one of the most creative people I think that we ever had on this program was the late Steve Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Who wrote so much. And he was on with us several times.
Oh,
As a matter of fact, one of the last in-person things he did before he died was here in Orlando.
It was.
At the Jack Kerouac home when we went out and
That's
had
right.
a chance to see him, be with him in person. But he used to tell us that he would wake up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning with the music in his head, and he'd had to get out and he'd jump up and write it down. Does that happen to you?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. Yeah, I really I hear the music in my head, and then I try to go to the piano or the guitar and then write it from that. Specifically, Footprints, we didn't intend to have a trumpet in there, but after one recording session, I said we have to have trumpet because it's in my head. I have to get it out.
You want to see it represented.
Yeah. So you're trying to get the vision of what's in your head out.
And the way it makes you feel, which is a whole thing that musicians love to do, is emote through their instruments.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of the other tunes, we talked about the Discovering My Garden, the Footprints, you take it over to Daytona Beach. A little bit about how that came together.
Well, we just started with the classical guitar, putting the main track down, doing a loop, as we say in the business, and then adding the bass, the upright bass, and then really bringing in the soloist to do individual sections. That particular song, Footprints, is really intended to take you're walking with your friends, walking down the beach, talking about how the year went. Let's say you have an annual beach get-together. It also slightly loosely reflects the poem Footprints. And in that, I think the third stanza says something, how could you leave me when life was so difficult? The violin solo really captures the beauty of the heartache very, very nicely.
That ties in nicely with what you made a comment earlier that your church really loved whale song, and so you took that finally, brought it to fruition, and then you tied it in with a classic.
Yeah, that was just a jam session one afternoon with this effect pedal called a digital delay, which I had turned up way high. And I was playing around with it, and I just recorded it that day and said, I'm going to keep it just like that. So it's if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
So you is it a medley into Amazing Grace is what I was referring to?
It is, yeah. So at the beginning, the sound pad of the ocean is actually created by the same lady that does effects for Harry Potter movies.
Wow.
So we had some special people. So just trying to create that vibe of what it might be like to be in the ocean watching them.
Yeah. Very, very nice.
Now, we're going to come back to that in a minute, but we're starting to get some people interested here. And besides checking it out in the social media, the Facebook and whatnot, and YouTube and whatnot, how they say, well, all right, I like this CD, I want one. What
Okay.
do they do? What do they do?
Well, they can contact me directly. I can either mail them CDs because I have about 100 left, or you can do the digital age. That seems to be people's favorite direction now. So you can go to iTunes, look up my name, Mike Bloomer, or you can go to Amazon if you like to shop there, or you can go to cdbaby.com. Yeah, correct. Mm-hmm.
For the CD itself?
Yeah, actually,
They do that both?
they only do the download.
Oh, okay.
I only have the original CDs now. So
Gotcha.
Right, yeah.
No, good.
Yep.
And then moving into this wonderful piece, this longer piece, it's a suite. So tell us about the Desert Suite.
Well, that actually came about because I was in a very long desert of very few gigs, and it was frustrating. So one afternoon, I just decided to play and record, and I just had some ideas. I wanted to create. You're in the desert on a camel looking for water. You're trying to find oasis, and you find it, but then you don't.
Hopeless.
So it's a lot of starting and stopping, different moods. Generally, it ends pretty optimistic, but it's somewhat of it deals with the discouragements of life.
Yeah, and then it does end with some relief and reflection.
It does, yeah. So it kind of sounds a little bit like a guitar because it's a 6-string bass guitar, and that's what I love about the instrument is it's very expressive. And Antone adds all the effects of rattlesnakes and gives some rock. So it's a lot of different types of landscapes in that particular piece. And I played that live for nursing homes, and they love it. You wouldn't think, but they connect with the emotions.
Well, in a way, they would. You're not trying to emphasize that things are bad or bleak. On the other hand, they're listening, and they touches them where they are maybe or where they've been, especially when they're older.
Exactly right.
Through life.
Mm-hmm.
And the final selection on the CD.
Well, that was a combination of Chris Bjarne and had me do some hip-hop tracks for him playing bass guitar. And this particular track, every time I heard the strings, I was moved by how I felt by it. And I said, I want to use that song and throw in a lead guitar solo on it. So I had just met a musician through a rehearsal. His name is Nick Schoenbeck. He's from Sweden. I did forget his name, so I've counted him in. And he did a marvelous job. I just said, hey, I'm looking for a David Gilmour solo. And we had the drums sound a little bit like Genesis. And those guys really made it come to life.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's called Reflections.
Yep, yep.
I like that. Now, what's up next on Mike Bloomer's calendar?
Well, pretty much I've got this plate full of students, which is fabulous. I have a few gigs. I'm playing at the Birds of Prey annual event coming up this month.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Just around the corner.
Where is that, by the way? Because
I don't have the address in front of me, but
I just went to a bird festival
it's
over
off
in Merritt
Lake
Island.
Sioux, that much I know.
Lake Sioux?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
And I think 4 o'clock I can look on my phone, but it's in a couple weeks.
Yeah, a couple weeks. So it's just good to know because showing up at those kind of events is kind of a cool thing to do, and you can tie in a lot of the things you do with what the subject matter.
Exactly right. Yeah. It's actually the 22nd
Cool.
of February. Yep,
Okay.
from 4:30 to 7.
Okay. Now, again, this brand new CD from Michael Bloomer is Creative Vault.
Right.
Creative Vault. And multiple ways to obtain it. Go ahead and run those by him again.
Sure, it's iTunes, it's Amazon.com, and then it's CD Baby. And one last thing I forgot to mention, the cover is the watercolor cellist by Naomi. And on my Facebook page, I've referred to her. She does a great job with art if you want to have that kind of vibe there. So
Very impressive. And I hear that wonderful, wonderful sound of Mike Bloomer sneaking in behind us again.
Little
here.
reflections here.
Yes.
yeah.
Mike, thank you so much for coming in and visiting with us this day.
Thank you for having me.
We wish you well.
Congrats
we know
on
what
this.
Great work you do.
And if I have a CD release party, then I'll certainly invite you guys there.
That would be fun. Yeah.
Okay.
We would love that. All right. Mike Bloomer, Creative Vault. Check it out. Well, David, I think that's going to do it for us for this week.
Time to hang up our cello.
Yeah, we'll invite you to join us 1 week hence for the further new and improved adventures of Smith
And Riley.
Smith & Riley is Central Florida's entertainment connection. Get connected by accessing podcasts and show archives online 24/7 at smithandriley.com.